Iga Swiatek's road towards an Olympic medal will have to go through Danielle Collins in a big-time quarterfinal matchup at this year's Olympic Games. What's up, everybody? It's John Eric Poli, and what a quarterfinal matchup we have here as Iga Swiatek, the world #1, the favorite to win Olympic gold this year, goes up against the American Danielle Collins with a great power game. This is going to be a really fun matchup here today, guys, and here's the reason why. We've seen, now Iga Swiatek, right, the queen of clay, but we've seen her at times struggle with power games, even being on clay. For example, let's just look at this year's Madrid tournament where Iga Swiatek was pushed to the brink by Iran-Camelia, had to dig down deep to win the tournament there. Then this year, right, she wins the French Open. But in that second round, Naomi Osaka, with the power game, gave Iga Swiatek so many problems. How Swiatek came back and won that match is still an incredible feat there. Then also, guys, let's remember too, Elena Rybakina, very good power game. Somebody that has Swiatek's number, has a clay win over Iga Swiatek this year. Swiatek's only loss on clay this year. Now, who has a very good power game? Danielle Collins. Collins absolutely has the power game to give Swiatek fits here. She's going to have to really rip a lot of balls very, very deep at Swiatek, keep Swiatek on that baseline or maybe even a little behind that baseline, because we've seen it time and time again, guys. If Iga Swiatek takes a step up and she rips into a ball, forget about it. You better hope that she misses long, because if she doesn't and she gets into a groove early, she will dominate the matchup. But here's the one thing, guys, to keep an eye out on, and that's that Swiatek has owned this matchup in the past. She is 6-1 against Collins all time. Now, Collins, again, we saw this matchup earlier in the year at the Australian Open, and Collins gave Iga Swiatek a lot of problems, and Swiatek in that one had to dig down deep, winning that one in a thriller there. So let's see if Collins could maybe look at that matchup, things that she did well on that one, and translate it here to this matchup. Now, again, two completely different surfaces, being on clay as opposed to the hard courts there at the Australian Open. But again, being that we've seen Swiatek struggle at times against a power game, let's see if Collins can do that as well. Now, the other thing to remember too, guys, Danielle Collins actually had a pretty good clay season. She won a tournament in Charleston. She made very far runs in several of the tournaments where, unfortunately, she ran into Aryna along the way, but she at least made runs to quarterfinals and semifinals. Had a bad showing in the French Open, but overall, her clay season was very good this year. But here's the thing. Iga Swiatek is the queen of clay. No matter which way you want to slice it, are you really going to ever bet against Iga Swiatek on a clay court? It doesn't matter who she's playing, how good the power game is. You got to take Swiatek, and Swiatek 6-1 all-time against Collins. For me, as far as a prediction goes, I'm going with Iga Swiatek, but I will say Swiatek going to have to play a little bit better than she did in her round 3 matchup here earlier today. At the time of recording this, that matchup just concluded about an hour or two ago, and Swiatek, even though she wins in straight sets, little bit shaky at times. She's going to have to shake that off and do it fast, because it's a quick turnaround for Swiatek, having the last singles matchup in round 3, then coming back playing against Danielle Collins the very next day with a very, very, very quick turnaround there. So something to keep an eye on there. But still, either way, Swiatek, I'm going to go with her in this matchup. I think this quest for Olympic gold for Swiatek looks pretty good here given the draw. Some other names, of course, are still out there, but we did see Jasmine Paolini and Coco Gauff both lose. So Iga Swiatek, things are shaping up pretty well for her here in this year's 2024 Olympic Games here in Paris.